Hey girls and boys, it's Mr. McAndrew. It's Friday, but we are going to start with some of the problems you did yesterday on Thursday. I want to go over them, see how you did, and so you can correct your work if necessary. So the first practice page looked like this. It was 4 times 13, and you have the computer app to help you with this. But what we've been talking about, get my marker here, is that it's hard to do 4 times 13 like in your head, but if you can break it up into 4 times 10, which we know is 40, and 4 times 3, right, which we know is 12, then we can add those two products together because the product is the answer to a multiplication question, and we have our answer of 52. So instead of trying to do it in one like really difficult step, we break it into 2 steps. And we've been talking about it's really helpful to do this. You don't want to like break up 13 into like 8 and 5 or 9 and 4. It's easier to do it by place value because it's easier to multiply by multiples of 10 or 100 like we've been doing. So in this case, 13, there's a 1 in the tens place, so that gives us 10, and then there's a 3 here. So we have 4 times 10, which is 40, and there's 40 squares. If you count this, there's 40 squares. And we have 4 rows of 3 here, 3, 6, 9, 12, 10, 20, 30, 40. Okay, so this is what number 1 should look like, the first page. The next one will look like this. And again, this will be exactly how it looks on the computer. Okay, so I broke up 14 into 10 and 4. I did 6 times 10, and I did 6 times 4. So in other words, 6 times 14 equals 6 times 10, or 60, plus 6 times 4, which is 24. And I can add 60 plus 24 and get 84 pretty easily. Okay, so it's a lot easier for me to be able to do. And so this is how the second one works. If you need to correct what you did yesterday, you can go ahead and do that. And the third one was 3 times 21, which was almost the whole thing except for the very end. So we have 3 times 21 equals the same as 3 times 20, which is 60. And we have this rectangle, which is 3 times 1, which of course is just 3. So our answer is 63. Now this is like a kind of problem maybe you could do in your head, because you could think, oh, 20 times 3 is 60, add 3 more, I get 63. But I wanted you to see how it looks on a grid, okay? All right, so I'm going to do a couple more challenging problems, because today's problems are going to be a little bit larger for you to work on. So this is a demo problem. You don't have this in your math packet. But I'm going to show you how I would do it, okay? So we have 6 times 23. So I know this is 6. I have 1. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right? And across here is 23. So I know that 23, right, is the same as 20. And I'll put my 3 way over here. Okay? So this is 3 here, and then all this is 20. So I divide it, I break it up into 2 different rectangles. So here I have 6 rows of 20, and over here I have 6 rows of 3. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. Okay, so if I go back to the computer, right, to help us with this, it's kind of like a cool app, isn't it? All right, so here I am. So let's punch in 6 and 23, okay? And let's make that. And I'm going to slide this over to where it says 20. So here I can see, here's my rectangle of 6 times 20, okay, just like on my paper, all right? And then here is my 6 rows of 3 over here, Okay, so just like on the paper that I'm showing you and the problems that you're going to work on today, here's my six rows of 20 rectangle, and here's my 6 rows of 3. Okay? And so the way we fill this out is just the way it shows us. Let me get my head out of the way. Sorry, boys and girls. It's just the way it shows us on the computer app. So if I go back there for a second, you can see that we have 6 times 20 plus 6 times 3. 6 times 20, which you should be able to figure out now. 6 times 20 is 120, right? 6 times 2 tens, which is 12 tens, which is 120. Okay, and then 6 times 3 is 18. And then you add that up to get 138. So on the paper, it would look like, oops, sorry about that. Come on, come to Papa. There we go. Okay, on the paper, it would look like this. So here's my first rectangle, 6 times 20, which is 120. And then over here, we have 6 times 3, which is 18. And if we add 120 plus 18, we get 138. And if you're not sure, you could always line it up like, oops, like this. Okay, 138. Okay, so just to demonstrate one more, here is 7 times 35. Okay, so this is going to be 7, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is going to be 5, and this is going to be 30, because we're breaking up 35 into tens and 1. So there's 30, right? The value of the tens, of the 3 in the tens place is 30, and here's your 5. So one rectangle is going to be 7 rows of 30, and the other rectangle is going to be 7 rows of 5. Okay, and then if I look at that on my computer, the computer app that we've been using, I would punch in 7, I shouldn't say punch, I should say type in 7 and 35, oh, not 235, Mr. Angelo, let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Okay, and then if I drag my slider out to the 30, that's a big number, right? We can see it right there. There's 7 rows of 30. There's 7 rows of 5. 7 rows of 30 is 210. 7 rows of 5 is 35. And if you add those up, then you get 245. And that is what you would put on your paper. Okay? So you have, it's like 1 practice, 2 practice, 5 times 32. And when you're done with this, okay, I want to show you one more thing. So if you could pause the video now, okay, work on this, and then I want to show you how you could solve an even larger multiplication problem without using grids. Because at some point, the grids just don't fit, right? This is 32. Imagine doing like 70 or 80 something. It just doesn't fit. So I'm going to show you how you can do that. Okay, so you have 2 problems to work on right now. And then when you're finished that, come on back. And if you need any help, just use that computer app. All right, I'll see you soon. All right, so boys and girls, we have one more problem to do. I'm going to do one problem to show you what it looks like. Then I'm going to give you a chance to solve a different problem. And then when you're done with that, you're going to come back and check and see how you did. Okay, because this is the first time we're doing it without a grid. So here I have 4 times 83. Okay, I'm actually going to use 2 different colors today. Okay. So 4 times 83, I'm going to break up my 83 into 80 plus 3. Okay, 8 is worth 80 and 3 is worth 3. So if I had a rectangle, let's say that's 4. Pretty long. Okay. And I'm going to say that here's 80 and this is 3. So from here all the way to here is 80, and then from here to here is 3, okay? Now I know I don't have any grids, but if I know that if I multiply 4 times 80, I'm going to get the area of this rectangle. I'm going to figure out how many squares are inside this rectangle. So 4 times 80, 4 times 8 is 32. But that's 8 tens, so I need to include my 0. So 4 times 80 is 320, right? That's what we were working on earlier this week. That's why we've been working on it, so you can do problems like this. So it's hard to do 4 times 83 like in your head. You're like, well, I don't know what it is. But if we break it apart, if we break up the 83 into 80 and 3, like, oh, well, I know what 4 times 80 is. It's 320. And I know what 4 times 3 is. You know what that is? That's 12. Then I can add those together. That's something I can do in my head. That's what, 332? Let's see, 320 plus 12 is, yeah, 332, okay? Oh, sorry, I meant to use 2 different colors for that. I was going to go like this, make this more like a greenish color to show you, like, there's that rectangle, right? And then there's this rectangle. Okay, so this is kind of how it looks. I want to give you a chance to try one. So in your packet, there is one problem that looks like this. It's called Split and Solve, Friday Practice, page 3. I want you to try it using the example I just showed you. Do your best. Okay, when you're done trying it out, come back and we'll go over it together. Okay, I'll see you in a few minutes. Okay, so how did you do? Maybe it was easy, maybe it was hard. It's all good. This is our first time. Our brains are growing. So the way I would do it is I would put 5 here as our width. Okay, and then I'm going to break up 78 into 70, right? And 8. Okay, so this is going to be my smaller rectangle, and this will be my larger rectangle. So here I have 5 rows of 70, and here I have 5 rows of 8. Okay, so let's see, 5 times 70. I know that 5 times 7 is 35, but I'm not doing 5 times 7, I'm doing 5 times 7d. So that would give me 350. And then over here, this is a little bit more manageable. I have 5 times 8, which I know is 40. And if I add 350 plus 40, I get 390. And there is your answer. Okay? All right, so that's how you do that. That is today's and this week's lesson. Okay, great job. You'll be doing more of this in class with your teacher. And just remember that what we're doing is we are trying to take a multiplication problem, okay? And instead of trying to do it all at once, we're breaking it up into 2 different parts. And at some point, maybe next week, when we do something like 5 times 278, first we'll do 5 times 200, then we'll do 5 times 70, and then we'll do 5 times 8. So it'll be like 3 different multiplication problems you have to do to get that answer. Okay, boys and girls, great job. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.